with each and every one of you. Let me get that out of there. And I'd like to share this with each and every one of you. It was very strong when it came, very clear. And I felt like at the time, Swami directly was talking and telling me what he would like me to share tonight. So let's start off by understanding everyday reality, what we call daily life, right? The world and everything we experience within it. When we're sleeping, let's think about this a minute and put it in proper perspective. When we're sleeping, we're not aware of the world at all around us. Instead, we enter into an illusionary world of the dreams that we experience. Now, there are 7 different types of dreams, and I won't get into that tonight. I'll get into that a different night. But these dreams are dreams, and when we wake up, they disappear. And something else happens in the night if we have a healthy body and a healthy mind, and we're breathing properly, and that is deep sleep. And for most people, it's at least 2 hours. The healthiest level of deep sleep is 3 hours. And in this deep sleep, we are totally unaware of everything. However, that's an unconscious state of pure awareness. So when we're in deep sleep, we're in pure awareness, but we're unconscious of it. It's oneness with God. That's what it is. We go back to our original state. It's not that God absorbs us back into Godhead. It's really that we go back to who we actually are, but it's unconscious. And that's where rejuvenation, refreshment, and the body's longevity comes from. That's where health comes, and happiness, and all the other things that we experience in the daily world. In that perspective, what is the world? So we have deep sleep, we have night dreams, and then we have the world, which when we go to sleep disappears. It's still there for everybody else around us when they're awake, but for us, it disappears. So in a way, it's a dream. It's a daydream. But this is what perspective I would like everybody to look at this daydream. And this perspective is, when you look in the mirror, what do you actually see? When you look in the mirror in the morning or whenever at night, whenever you're looking in the mirror, what do you actually see? You see a physical body and the surroundings reflected back to you. That perception, that reflection only exists inside of you. As a matter of fact, everything that you see is actually being perceived only inside of you. So what you is it being perceived by? It's being perceived by the consciousness and the 5 senses and the mind. So the body, the 5 senses and mind and consciousness is perceiving the surroundings. But those surroundings, as we look at this video, this Zoom meeting right now, where is it that we're perceiving it? Inside, here and here, inside. It's not outside. As a matter of fact, there actually is no outside and there actually is no inside. So how do we come to that logically? And this is the Yanni path tonight I'm talking about. I mean, we know Bob is God. That's it. If you don't know Bob is God yet, you will very, very soon. But one day, either today or tomorrow or the next day or the next, before this life is out, you will know that Bob is God. And that's it. If you have any doubts, that's fine. We all do at the beginning. But nevertheless, that's the truth. It's not a cult. It's just the truth. Krishna was God. Rama was God. The avatars before Rama were God. And Sai Baba, Shirdi Sai Baba, Sai Baba, and Prema Sai Baba, who's here. But he's not in YouTube. Don't believe those things. Is God. So he's a little kid, not in YouTube. So whatever we see is inside of us. So the perceptions that we have that we're all separate is actually false. Because we can look at it another way. Awareness itself gives us perception. Awareness. Awareness is the state that we are in deep sleep, but we're unconscious of it. When we meditate, we can become conscious of awareness, but in the moment that we're in pure awareness, when we're meditating, we're not aware that we're in awareness, because there's no self-reflection. There's no reflecting surface. There's just oneness. So if you think that, oh, I'm going to be aware that I'm awareness when I'm meditating, no, you're going to be aware. And when you kind of come out of that, you were aware that you were in awareness, and you were beyond the senses, you were beyond the mind. That's the state of meditational consciousness. Now, what's the difference between that and enlightenment? Full enlightenment, Brahman consciousness, or Hum Brahmasmi, means that you no one ever is going to be identifying with the body, mind, personality, senses, ego, perceptions, and all that. They recognize you recognize this is all the Brahman, the unmanifest manifest. That's all. Now, if you want to test this out, it's a very simple way. Look at someone in their eyes, and then say to yourself, you don't even have to tell them you're doing this. Say to yourself, that's me. That's the true me. The bodies are different. The consciousness is one. The unmanifest absolute awareness, the source of consciousness comes with existence. Remember that. The source of consciousness, the source of existence is awareness. And that awareness I am, and that awareness exists in each and every one of us. And when you look at somebody, say to yourself, that's me, as pure awareness. And see what happens to you. See what you feel. It's a very interesting thing that happens. There's like a moment of no, and because the mind will try to support the ego, which has been in existence for 1 million years or more, and millions of years. And the fact is, you just ignore that, because that's the mind objecting. And then you just wait and watch what happens inside. Be aware of what's happening. That is the state you will experience something. And it'll be like a vibrational woo for a moment. That's enlightenment. That's full enlightenment. Now, how do you stabilize that? By giving up desires, by giving up attachments, by giving up likes, by giving up dislikes, by giving up opinions, and just being perceptive of all things being God. Every event, the good, the bad, and the ugly, it's all God. Everything that ever happens is purely God's will. As Swami once told us personally, there are no victims. Everything that happens is my will. God knows the reasons why. He didn't say, I know the reasons why. He said, God knows the reasons why, and humans can't. God understands. Humans can never understand it. So trust. As a human being, we're incarnated God, the unmanifest absolute, has incarnated as you, as me, as Roseanne, as all of us. Trust that's true, because that is true. And leave the body, mind, personality, ego, experiences that we have in a life or another life behind. Leave it. Because we're not that. We're none of that. No one has ever been that. To be alive, it's impossible to be alive in a human body, or any other body for that matter, without being the unmanifest, absolute, pure awareness manifesting. You understand this? Just as we have a heartbeat and breath, It's impossible to have any of that without the unmanifest supporting it and being it. Remember, God is omnipresent. One of the three qualities. That is the reality. It's impossible for it to be anything else. If anything else, if any part of the universe or us or any being anywhere, wherever they may be in the entirety of the universe and beyond, all universes, the gross, the subtlest causal, the gods and the goddesses, it's impossible for any atom of that, even smaller, to be existent without being the unmanifest existence which has manifested. Do you understand this? This is the path of Jnani. Now, the path of Jnani always leads to Bhakti, and the path of Bhakti always leads to Jnani. You love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your might, and then you leave it up to God, the rest, the fruits, right? So Bhakti has to be there for Jnani to manifest, for true wisdom to happen. And true wisdom always brings the reality of love, because that is what God is, love, pure love, pure love. Now you might ask yourself, well, how did this ever happen in the first place? It's the nature of the unmanifest to manifest, just like it's the nature of the orbit of the earth to bring day and night, or the plants to grow, or human beings to evolve. It's in the nature of the unmanifest Godhead to manifest, like a pulsation. It's never anything else. The unmanifest will always manifest, and then it will unmanifest, like day follows night and night follows day, and then will manifest again. And this takes billions upon billions upon billions upon billions of years, but it is inevitable. That's the nature of God in the unmanifest, to manifest. That's the nature of love, to express itself, to experience itself, to want to be one with itself. That's the nature of God. So consciousness comes out of awareness. Instead of identifying with what you see in the mirror and identifying with what you see all around you, we've been brainwashed since birth to believe that this material world is the only world there is. Unbrainwash us, Father, because that's what he does. He said, I am the Dobie. I am the divine Dobie. I clean everybody out. He also said, I am unbrainwashing you. So go on with the program and see what happens. Do it as an experiment and see what it brings. The senses themselves lead us to the misidentification with the body. But the fact of the matter is, the entirety of creation, the entire thing, is the body of God. Guess what? The entire thing is your body also. The entire thing, and Deepak Chopra talks about this. He's a good scientist. Physics is his thing, physics and neurobiology. And on the quantum physics level, if you look at your body, the atoms of your body on a microscopic level, the electron microscopic level, the atoms of a body are as far apart from each other as the stars in the universe are relative to the physical universe. That's how far they are exactly. And the body that you think is so solid is interchanging all its molecules and all its atoms each and every day with the entirety of the universe. And the atoms of the entirety of the universe. And there's some atoms and molecules in your body right now that came from the most distant galaxies that we don't even know about. So the body is really very permeable and influx and flows and ebbs and breathes and exchanges its atoms and molecules with everybody in the same room as you, just by breathing out and breathing in. But even deeper than that, on a physical level, there's a definite interchange on the quantum level of all the particles of your body with every other body in the entire universe. So in reality, your body, your consciousness occupies the entire universe on a physical level even. And that means that your actual body is the entire universe. Now, great sages and mystics who have meditated upon these questions of who am I and my relationship to the universe and what is the universe, have experienced that the entire universe is within them. But it's also not only within them, they are within it, and they are it. And we are it, because God is it, and that's who we really are. So Swami teaches us this, and he gives us all the steps along the way to purify our mind and heart so that we may experience it in a deeper and deeper way. So
in an interview, Swami said to us, we were in a group of people, where's God? And being a meditator, 23-year-old meditator, I was like, in my heart. And Swami said, God is everywhere. So it's that very, it's kind of just an interesting thing, because we go inward in meditation, but really we're expanding as becoming the universe. So we can't ever, from what Swami says, we can't just only be interested in ourselves. Only everyone we meet is God. So I want to read from Swami. This is from Prasnothan Vahini, chapter 14. Self-effort, discrimination, viveka, intense spiritual practice, tapas. Those qualified people for the highest status. Without purity of the inner instruments, no person, however high their caste, can reach the highest. If inferior copper is added to gold, the alloy loses value. Just as pure gold becomes an alloy through contact with copper, the universal form gets the inferior ego added to it in this ocean of worldly existence. So the vision, what the image Swami's talking about is that we are the purity, but we get attached to the world. And so the universal form gets an ego. And so the process of meditation is to cleanse us of that attachment. So Swami says, the universal becomes transformed into the individual soul. That's what we think we are. Now, what has to be done to get back to the real principle? Through intense spiritual practice and through polishing and cleansing the intellect, the buddhi. So cleansing the mind. The original stage must be regained. So we have to go back to the purity. That's what our work is. He said, you wash your feet after walking through the mud. Your mind also must be washed of the mire of attachment to objects. This is, keep getting attached. All this stuff is attached to us. It's like an endless thing. We remember, our friends from kindergarten, it's just, we remember what happened, a few days ago. We remember this and that, and we just have, or we think of the future, what's going to happen, instead of being who we are in the present, we have these attachments. So Swami said, through polishing and cleansing the intellect, the buddhi, the original stage must be regained. You wash your feet after walking through the mud. Your mind also must be washed of the mud of attachment to objects. Only spiritual wisdom can burn the seeds of attachment so that they may not sprout again. So a person with the treasure of spiritual wisdom gets liberated easily. So Swami gives us always the clues of what we have to do. He always says to love, to have bhakti, and to inquire, and to look at who we really are. Our real self is the universal self, and our mind forgets that. So when Swami says that they're seeds, the fried seeds, usually that's about the vasanas, which are from lifetime to lifetime attachments and tendencies. And so by doing spiritual sadhana that produces wisdom, by doing inquiry that we can see the wisdom, if we love everyone, we experience the wisdom that all is one. Oh, you can't hear? Okay, we're a little far away. So we understand that there's these seeds within us that we're born with called vasanas, that are tendencies. The good vasanas are the ones that brought us to Sai Baba, to meditating. They're the good tendencies from lifetime to lifetime. And then we have other vasanas, other tendencies that keep us tied to our bodies, that keep us tied to money, that keep us attached to our families, and instead of just working disinterestedly for God. So Swami says that when we have wisdom, when we know the difference between the real is what lasts forever, it never ends, and the unreal is anything that changes, then these seeds of attachment, they can no longer sprout in us, and we're free.
Okay, so we're free. That's nice. Now that everybody's free, you know what Swami said, you don't have to incarnate here again. If you just intellectually understand that you're not the body, mind, personality, ego, attachments, desires, thoughts, and feelings, or experiences that you've had in any particular lifetime. If you just understand that, you don't have to incarnate here again. However, I would like some helpers, so would Swami. So if you get free this lifetime and you want to come back and help one more, so well, there's no objection to that. So just, Prem Sai Baba is here. It's nice. But Swami doesn't want me to say that stuff. He wants everybody just to try this one and get free and decide afterward what you want to do. So, he said, focus on this lifetime and get free. Don't worry about the next one. You never know. So, okay, get free. Just understand this. We are not the body. The body comes with the mind. They're not two, they're one. So body, mind, personality, ego supports all that. Sense of individual doership is the ego. Sense of I need this, I want that, I have this, I have that, I don't like this, I don't like that. That's all ego. Thoughts, feelings, we're not any of that. We're not the experiences we've had in this lifetime or any other. We're just God in a body, in a temple. And we're here to love each other and help each other in every way that we possibly can. So do you want to read something before?
Yeah, just one last
thing before we start meditating.
This is from Conversations, John Hislop. What is this sannyasi? There are three types. First is the cloth sannyasi, who pretends renunciation by wearing an ochre robe. There are thousands of such people. Next is the sense sannyasi, who gains control of his senses. These persons should never leave the world for solitude. They should remain in life where they may watch their reactions and know if their sense control is genuine. Then there is he who has surrendered to the Lord, dedicating the fruit of every action to God. In this sannyasi, ego has no place. His heart is pure. His senses become calm, and they are not affected by the opposites. If the heart is pure, then the continuity of the Om sound will not be broken. And if something that seems bad does arise, then it is unreal. For only the Om is real.
Okay, so you have a decision to make, each and every one of us. We all have a decision to make. Which one of those yogis are we going to be as householders in the world? Because that's where Swami put us. We've all been yogis before. Obviously, we didn't fully make it. Here we are. So now we're householders. We're supposed to be yogis in our householder world, you know. So Swami once said to me when I objected to going back to the West and being a householder, I said, I've been training to be a sannyasi for 15 years, Swami. And he stopped. He said, because he knew what I was going to say. And now you want me to go back to the West and have a family. And he said, this is what he said: sannyasi is inside, not outside. So we are all sannyasis. We are all ultimately sannyasis inside. And that's what Swami has made us. So let's start off. I'm going to lead off the meditation tonight. We're going to do a little bit of pranayama. You know Swami's pranayama, right? Take your right hand, you close your right nostril with your right thumb. You breathe up the left nostril. You can hold it for a moment if you like, or not. Close the left nostril with 2 middle fingers of the right hand and breathe out the right nostril. So this is breathing up the left and out the right only. It calms down the mind for meditation. So let's do this for a couple of minutes. We breathe up the left. Hold it for a moment. That's comfortable. We close the left nostril with the 2 middle fingers of the right hand, and then we breathe out the right. Slowly, not forced, just naturally almost. We're breathing again, closing the right nostril, breathing up the left. Holding this. Then breathe, closing the left nostril with the 2 middle fingers of the right hand, then breathing out the right. So continue with this for about a minute or two. Swami recommends this before meditating. Okay. Now we're going to do dharana for 2 minutes, which Swami recommends to improve concentration. And Ramana Maharshi used to do this with a star. Open-eyed gazing at a spot in the room or a candle flame. And then when the thoughts are there, if you notice, come back gently, easily, effortlessly to Om in the mind. If there's any thought at all in the mind, let it be Om. So when you notice that it's wandering away, bring it back gently, easily, effortlessly to Om. So open-eyed gazing, blinking as little as possible for 2 minutes. Okay, very good. This is called Dharana. I hope I'm not slaughtering Sanskrit. Dharana. And now we'll close our eyes. We'll Om 3 times and we'll start our meditation. Get comfortable. Make sure that your back's comfortably straight, head's comfortably erect, and you don't have to move for the next 35 minutes. Oh. Settle into the peace within you. Take about a half a minute, and when you feel ready, follow the breath through the heart center as if you have a nose in the center of the chest, thinking so, holding it in between as long as it's comfortable. And then while you breathe out, thinking hum, I am that I am, the witness of the mind, consciousness itself. So, when the mind wanders and you notice, no criticism or judgment of the mind is needed. It's just doing what it's supposed to do. Stress release makes the mind wander. The nature of the mind is to wander. Don't mind the mind. But just come back gently, easily, effortlessly, letting go of anything else. Coming back gently, easily, effortlessly, back to so, breathing in, thinking that. Hum, breathing out. Through the heart center, as if you have a nose in the center of the chest where you point to yourself as me, just like right there. So, so, you notice the mind's wander, just come back gently, easily, effortlessly. No criticism or judgment of the mind for wandering is needed. No force is needed. Just, oh yeah, so, so, Settle in. This is concentration. Mind's wanderings are a part of meditational experience. Don't condemn them. Just let them be. And when you notice you're not thinking, so breathing in, breathing out, come back to it gently, easily, effortlessly, without any criticism or judgment of the mind for wandering. So, I am that I am. Let everything else go. Now, when you breathe in, think I am breathing in God's peace that's all around me. I'm breathing in God's love that is all around me. I'm holding that love and that peace. And the love and peace of God within me mixes with the love and peace that I breathed in. And I'm breathing out all the stresses of my day, my week, my month, my life. Whatever comes to mind, breathe it out like the waste material of metabolism, carbon dioxide. Breathe it out. Let it go as you breathe out. We're breathing in God's love and peace. We're breathing out all the stress of life, all the karmic burdens of life. God's love, God's peace. That's what we're breathing in. Sustaining life force. God. As we breathe out, we let go of all the stress of the day, the illusions of the world, no matter what they are. It's all a drama that God's the director of, and He assigned our roles, and He's the doer of it. He's the one doing it all. The Swami has said, I do everything. Everything is my will. Even the blades of grass blowing in the wind are exactly as I will them. Breathing in God's love and peace, holding that breath of love, realizing it's within us, and breathing out all the illusions, attachments, the desires, the reactions, the opinions, the likes and dislikes, the traumas, everything. We are not our experiences. Keep letting go for a few more moments. All the daydream, all the night dream, all the terrors of life, the fears of life, false evidence appearing real. Fear is false evidence appearing real. All the objects of this world, let them go. Let them go. You can take them back later if you like. For now, just let them go. Now, when you breathe in love and peace from the God with all around you, mixes within you with your soul's love and peace, that is God. And as you breathe out, breathe this love and peace out to all beings, that all beings may be happy, prosperous, spiritually aware, growing in their awareness. May there be God's peace on earth, God's kingdom on earth. Serve as this lighthouse of love and peace for all the world. That's the real reason why we meditate, to love all and serve all. So not meditating for our own selfish enlightenment, but for the enlightenment of all beings. That's the way of the Buddha. That's the way of our dear Swami. That's the way of all enlightened beings and avatars. They come to help. So be that now. Don't wait. Be that now. Breathing in this love and peace into our heart, holding it, realizing it's within our own soul self, consciousness itself. And then breathing it out through our heart center to all beings throughout the world and even the universe. May this universe evolve through our love, through our peace, awareness. We are all avatars, Swami has said. Be that now. Breathing that love in, stay in concentration for a few more minutes. Breathing that love to all beings. Temples of love these bodies have become. Temples of God, God's peace. Om. Go of everything else. Don't participate in the illusion of the body-mind, ego. Let it go and be that which you really are. Embodiments of love, embodiments of God. Om. Let everything else go. Just let it go. The mind wanders into the daydream. the attachments and the desires. And when you notice, just bring it back gently, easily, effortlessly. Continue where you last left off. No condemnation of the mind is needed. No frustration is needed. It's just the process, part of the process. I've been doing this process for 50 years and still the mind comes up with distractions. It's just part of the process. Don't pay attention to those distractions. We come back to reality. We are love. We are peace. We are God. In body. Mind can't understand, but heart knows the truth. Mind is not capable of knowing that truth. Heart is, soul is, consciousness is. Never mind the mind. Let it go. Breathing in love, peace, feeling it. Breathing it out to all beings everywhere, especially in this world tonight. Now I ask that everybody leave the breath behind. Go beyond the subtlest level of the body that we can concentrate upon. Leave it behind. You are not the body. Leave it behind and come into Om in the mind. Beyond the breath. Just think Om. And imagine that within your heart is a small candle flame that's going to become brighter and stronger and fuller, bigger with each and every Om in the mind. This is the light of love. This is the light of the soul, the light of consciousness. And first we imagine it, and then imagination becomes reality eventually. We're just imagining this light within our hearts. It could be a miniature sun if you like, or a little candle flame. And each and every Om in the mind, which we come back to when the mind wanders away, coming back to it gently, easily, and effortlessly, just like before. Om. I am this love. I am this peace. I am this light. Om. I am. Fire within our heart becomes fuller and brighter. The miniature sun becomes like the sun itself in the sky, but it's in our heart because consciousness itself burns brighter than 1,000,000 suns in reality. Visualize that or imagine it in the heart center. You don't actually see it yet. Maybe you do see it, but if you don't, just imagine it. That's fine. Om. I am. Let this light, this love, this power of Om within the mind expand within you. Let this light, this love fill you like an empty glass from the tips of the toes to the top of the head. Let it fill you up from your heart center as it overflows, touches every atom, every cell lit with the light of love. That is God, that is truth, that is the real you. Om, I am.
I am. I am that I am. I am. I am that I am. I am that. Go deep, deep into it. The feeling, the awareness. I am. Self beyond all. I am. Whatever the mind says, it's not that. I am. Way beyond the mind. Go deeply within. Who am I? What does your soul answer? Feel it. Experience it. It's beyond words. Who am I? Feel it. I am the supreme, indivisible, absolute. Feel it. It's way beyond words. Just feel it. Go into it. Indivisible. Mind may divide. I am indivisible. Supreme. Absolute. Go beyond words. Go beyond form. I am. I am God. I am the infinite. Feel it. Imagine it. Infinite. Absolute. indivisible, changeless, Sat Chit Ananda. Feel it. Truth. Awareness. Bliss. Feel it. Feel the bliss. Allow it to come forth in yourself, your true self. It's always bliss. It's always changeless. Always aware. Bliss. It's our true self. Feel this bliss of God. Our true self, God. I am not different from God. Feel the bliss flowing through you. And expand. Expand. There's no end to God. Let yourself expand. You have no boundaries. We're not the body. You have Sat Chit Ananda. I am I. Dive deep. Expand. I am I. I am I. Just for one more minute, let go of everything. I am. I am. Now start to become aware. This is time to bring all this love back as we slowly come back into the body, just ever so gently into the covers. And just breathe, feel a breath in you. Just feel how free you are. There's no burdens. There's nothing we have to do. Just love God. And feel your breath in your body. Love Sai Baba. Let's thank him for being our teacher, one who brings us from darkness to light. How lucky, how fortunate to have such a total divinity as our teacher. That's the divinity within us. We can always access Sai Baba within us. Here's still small voice telling us what is right, what is helpful, what is loving. Just breathe, just take yourself back into your body very gently and bring all this bliss, all this love back in. We're alive with love. We're in our true self. Just bring it back into the body. And as you've expanded, just kind of contract a little into the body so that we're just feeling healthy and happy. Sitting in our body, breathing, just loving Baba, thanking Baba. Oh, Sai Baba, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this life in me. I can offer to you, even though there's no separation. I'll go about my daily life knowing that it's truly you who do everything. Knowing our oneness, how much you love us, and we circulate that love in the world. Just breathe.
Swami says, take one step towards me and I take 1,000 steps towards you. Not only 100, 1,000. Take one step towards me. This tonight, you have taken 100 steps towards Swami, even more. This is your Christmas gift to God, your Hanukkah gift to God, your special New Year to God tonight. So are there any questions before we close? We have about 5 or so minutes. That's about it before the next function starts. It's a wonderful talk that's going to follow. I highly recommend everybody attend it. So if you have any questions or want to share anything, please feel free to open the mic and do that.
Sairam, brother, I know when you were asking us to breathe in and feel that presence in the heart, like breathing through the heart. And when you also told us before we went into meditation, look into someone's eyes and you see yourself and you're going to start feeling something. there was a point where when I look at mountains or when I look at the nature, there's something that really happens in the heart, especially on the left side. And I feel like that's like the triggering of the real sense of the truth within us, because then it just goes into a short spell of wow, and it's a beautiful experience, but it doesn't stay for long. How do we, like, that's what I felt when you were taking us through this meditation session, where we could feel that little spark within us that's something different and new to experience.
Nature is not separate from the body. This body came from Mother Earth. This body is made of the soil of Mother Earth. This body is sustained by the soil of Mother Earth in food. There is nothing about this body that is separate from nature. And there's nothing about this body that's separate from the earth. And there's nothing about this body that is separate from the universe. This is oneness. So when you look at a mountain and you say, that's myself, that's the truth. And your soul self knows that, and it's excited by that. It's elevated by that. And you feel the thrill of that. That is beyond the mind. And that is pure love. Thank you for sharing that experience, Sai Prasanna.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to say anything, share anything, reflect? It's always a pleasure to be with you all. We look forward to this monthly meditation, probably more than you guys do. It's so nice to be together as truth seekers, lovers of God.
It's just a true joy, and we are thankful and grateful for your sharing this.
Hi, Jay. Hi, Meryl. Didn't know you were there. Nice to hear you.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We're here.
Yes.
I had a funny experience, and it goes right with tonight's lesson. About 4 or 5 months ago, I found out, well, I went out looking for a whole bunch of new pictures of Swami. I don't know why, but I just thought, I want some new pictures. I want something. I didn't have any where he was looking right at me. And I wanted some pictures where Swami was looking right at me. So I got one that was just fabulous. And he's just looking straight at me, very big. And so I've been looking at that for meditation, and just one. I was reading one of the, dialogues, and he said, just pick one picture. So one day I'm looking at it, and all of a sudden I realize I'm seeing my face in his face. And maybe this is why I love this picture so much. And then I thought about it, and I said, well, maybe everybody has a picture of Swami that looks like them. And I think that's probably true. So that's what I wanted to say.
That's how beautiful. I've seen so many pictures of Swami standing next to devotees and taking a picture, right? And if you look at this picture, when Swami stands next to devotee, if it's one devotee, it's easier to see it. He looks like the person he's standing next to. It's amazing to me. I've seen it at least 100-something times. It's just incredible. He always looks like the person he's standing next to, and the person he's standing next to looks somewhat like him. It's an amazing thing.
Transforming everyone.
But the reality is, bodies are separate, but God is one, and that God is the oneness of who we really are. And when we realize that, when we even think that, not even full realization, just thinking that manifests in our awareness. And as we think it more and more, it manifests more and more. And one day you're not going to forget. You're going to wake up and you're going to stay woken up. And even when you sleep in deep sleep, you're going to watch your mind go and this go and that go. At times you might go into complete unawareness of that. No, not all yogis are awake while they sleep. You might say when the body sleeps. But the reality is you never, ever forget, because once you really know, then you really do know. There you
Oh,
are.
Nice,
That's
beautiful.
Swami.
That's beautiful.
Sai Ram, and thank you all very, very much for joining together.
Have a wonderful month.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
happy.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just have a closing prayer, but I wanted to put the plug in, as Brother Al was saying. At 8:30, we have satsang with Dr. Suresh Govind about the Prema Vahini book that we are doing monthly, just like our meditation session. And so today it's at 8:30 because it's a different timing than the usual one. I will just press enter at the end of our session so you can get the Zoom link if you need it. So let's close the session. Thank you, Brother Alan, Sister Roseanne. Wish you all and everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Swami is the only doer. Don't forget that.
Yes.
We're very grateful.
Can I share something very quickly? I had a dream of Baba, and I always wish that I would have a dream of him because, you feel so happy. So I've been asking for a dream. And a couple of days ago, I saw he was driving a car. He was the driver. And I was sitting in the back seat, and there were two other people with me. One seemed like a younger person, and then another somebody. So Baba was going really, really fast, and he was going straight and fast. Then I said, Baba, I was kind of joking, you drive like me, that I'm not a good driver. And then he started reversing and going so fast and reversing. It was very funny to me. I don't know what it means, but I thought I'll share that with you. And the other thing I wanted to share is my grandson. He does taekwondo, and how Baba relates to people at their own level. So one day Baba came in his dream doing tumbling like they do in taekwondo. So he was so thrilled, Baba came and doing, and he was doing this action, he was doing this, he made this ha, 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 like what they do in taekwondo. So he was so thrilled. How he relates to people at their own level is just beautiful. And I was wondering if you could relate any of your personal experiences with Baba when you were there.
Us, you mean?
Yes.
No, next time. That would take another 45 minutes, at least.
Not
Yes,
even a
thank you
little
for
one?
sharing your dreams.
Thank you very, very much for
Very
sharing.
wonderful.
Thank
Sai
you.
Ram to everybody.
Sai Ram.
Samastalokaah Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaah Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaah Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti. Jai Sai Ram. Thank you.
Right on.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah if you celebrate.
Yeah.
Thank
Happy
you.
Kwanzaa, Happy Ramadan. God bless everyone.
Thank you too.
Sai Ram.
Thank you. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram. Thanks,
you.
brother. Thanks, sister. Thank you, everyone.